I work very closely with law enforcement, and it really is the most rewarding work that I do at Adobe. I get questions all the time about our analysis tools, measurement tools, and how to accurately measure something inside Photoshop. It works really well when we have known values. So I'm going to show you a couple of examples here. One, our fake security camera with our wonderful subject, Karl, playing the bad guy yet again, and doing a wonderful job. And then another one on how to print one-to-one. So let's get started. Here's our image that we brought in, and here we've got a suspect. We need to measure his height. Fortunately, we have known measurements beside him. We have the height of this door, which we know is 95 inches. We could also use these electrical switches on the left and on the bottom if we had to, although they're a little bit blurry, so we'll probably just stick with that door. If I click and hold in the eyedropper and pull up the ruler tool, and inside our analysis, we need to set our first measuring point. So I'm going to measure the top of the door to the bottom of the door here. So I'm just clicking and dragging, and that will stay on the screen. Click on there. That's 2,613 pixels. Now, admittedly, this is a high-resolution picture shot with my Canon 5D, but you get the idea. If it's a lower res, 640, 480, then you'll just get smaller results. So in analysis, measurement scale, custom. So we know that that was 2,613. So we need to put that length in here, 2,613 pixels equals something we've already measured here, which is 95 inches. And down here it summarizes that for us. 2613 pixels equals 95 inches. Click OK. And we're using the custom measurement scale that we just set in here. So that now knows that is our 95-inch measurement. I'm going to click to the top of Karl, down to the bottom of his feet, and I'm going to use this foot because I'm going to try to find the straightest line to depict his height. And then we'll see it right up there. So there's our measurement right there, which is 71 inches, which is, I guess, almost 6 feet. So we've got a pretty accurate measurement in here. Of course, we're going to be off maybe an inch or two, but it gives us an idea around that distance. We could record this measurement. So back up in the analysis, record measurements, and I could just keep, drawing. If I wanted to record the measurement of that switch over there, record the measurement, and it's showing us our measurements down here. It's showing us the scale factor, and there's our length. So remember, this is now our custom length, which is in inches. We could do several measurements all in here. If you needed to mark this out, though, then you're going to have to use some of the other tools in Photoshop. We've got some shape tools inside here, and we've got custom shape tools, and you can pop these up, and there's quite a few inside here. So if you had to use these tools to maybe do callouts and markups, then you'd have to do that over top. That will print. This will not print. We can also select all of these, and we can export them. So down at the bottom right, click the export these measurements. They go out as a typical tab delimited file, so you could load these into a spreadsheet program and catalog them that way. If you save this file now, that custom measurement is now saved in the file, even if it's a JPEG. But my recommendation all the time when you're working on an image for analysis is you do not want to introduce initial compression. So I will open this up as an initial JPEG or TIFF or whatever I received, and then I will start to work with it as a PSD. So make sure you're using a PSD. PSD is definitely the best uncompressed format. Okay, so we can export that out. Let me show you one other thing in working with measurements, and that's called printing one-to-one. We get this request, again, all the time. Printing devices aren't made by default to print one-to-one. One-to-one meaning 1 inch or 1 centimeter inside this document prints as 1 inch or 1 centimeter as the final print. Printing devices are all about capturing your beautiful artwork, sticking that on a page, and printing it out. We don't want that. We're dealing with law enforcement that have large format printers. They need to be able to accurately measure something that's 1 inch in Photoshop is 1 inch on the printed page. It's not that hard to do. So fortunately, we have our measurements here. I'm just going to close this tab and get these out of the way and zoom in. We've got a marker placed inside here. This is a 1-inch marker, so we know that value. So of course I can grab my tool. I could of course zoom all the way in, click and drag along 1 inch. And if you're off by a little bit, you can come in here and tweak this and before you finally measure it. Back to analysis, set measurement scale. So this happens to be 379 pixels equals 1 inch. Oh, so I've obviously saved this in the file before. Click OK. That is now 1 inch. So how do I work with that? Well, that particular measurement that I have inside there, so I'm going to have to go back and look at that again. I can actually select that and copy it. If we go into our image size, right now, we might have, for instance, on this one, which was taken from a digital camera, it's 240 pixels per inch. We want to make sure resample is turned off. We don't want to resample the image. That means start to move the pixels around and change them and quite possibly either reduce the resolution or blow it up. You do not want to do this. You just want to change the scale. So remember, I copied that. So if I paste that in there, we now have a resolution of 379 pixels for every inch. Click OK, and now when this prints up, you can measure that 1 inch segment there, and you'll be guaranteed that it's going to be 1 inch when you print. So these are the tools that come inside Photoshop Extended. Remember, there are 2 versions of Photoshop, Photoshop and Photoshop Extended, and it's the extended version that has these extra measurement and analysis tools that are perfect for law enforcement.